And if we ask the stars what they mean, what would they say back to us? Welcome! You want to go on a card journey today? Give me some of your time, and I'll give you some of your story. Well, let's see what the cards say. Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to Quick Like Tarot. My name is Corey, and I'm going to be your tarot card reader for today. As a set of quick announcements, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button. That way when uploads are made, you can see what the stars are trying to say to you. Also, if interested, individual reads it back up and open. Either message or email me directly. Link is on main and on side up, okay? So Aquarius, what are we looking at in this round of reads? This is going to be your one-to-one read for the month of September. One-to-one is a style of reading that I do. Simplify. Person A over here, person B over here, and examining all that's happening in between. So as a caveat to this style of reading, two major things. The first, Aquarius, although they tend to get the moniker of being a love reading due to the intensity of what's going on between both parties, I hesitate to use that word. It may not always be lovely, right? If real tarot reflects real life, I'm good enough to talk about real issues. So I talk about everything that shows up at the table. That's the first. The second, it ain't always got to be about love. Promise you. It could be your friend, family member, coworker, somebody you just met, right? There's what's going on in between these two parties. So as a preamble to the read, Aquarius, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Don't always be so willing to reverse. At times, it is difficult to understand that I, as your tarot card reader, I'm not here to misguide you or mislead you. Trust me, I got 12 signs to work with, okay? And none of the time to lie to any of them. Instead, we lay our cards out on the table. We go to bed, compare our sunshine, we talk about it because at the end of the day, tarot is a conversation. Just an energetic one. So follow along with me in this read today, Aquarius, your one-to-one read. And yeah, let's see what the cards say. You're going to be over here. Your person's going to be over here. So what's the cards we need to see, please, for the Aquarius Collective? What are the cards we need to see, please, for the Aquarians one-to-one read today? On your side, okay, these things happen. Four of Cups, the notion of disappointment or at least a little bit of apathy over time. On your person's end, Judgment. Okay. It might be approaching a crossroads with them. I don't know who's coming up with that on their end, Aquarius, but I get the idea that something's just not sticking with this person, whoever you're finding on this end of it, and they're coming into their own moment of realization where it's like, oh, this isn't a joke anymore. They're actually serious, right? In this essence, Aquarius, it becomes, are they going to listen to everything that I've laid out for them, right? Are they going to listen to all the signs I've been given around them? Or am I just going to be left even more, if not eternally disappointed? And by extension, what does that mean for us afterwards? There's just this overall level of, I'm trying to look for the word. It's beyond disappointment. It's almost an expectation of failure, right? And on their end, do they actually hear you, or are they just trying to pass this by and brush this off? Again, you're seeing if they're going to change, and they're coming to a realization point where they may have to change. So it's a very, kick down the door kind of opening, but it is where you two stand. And on their end, they're having their own, realizations about where they stand too. So I hope the best for that dynamic, because it looks like you stuck in this for a while and you just became more and more disgruntled over time. And that's just being honest. So now that we got individual positions, reveal fronts and backs for this read. Fronts and backs here meaning backs, what is left in the unsaid, the unknown, kind of pushed to the wayside, and the fronts wants to most directly communicate between both parties. So those cards we need to see, please. Fronts and backs for Aquarius and the person in this read. Fronts and backs between Aquarius and their person in this read. Ooh. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I'll take it as is then. Normally, if I was to say that that was bad shuffling, I would be more concerned if it was an odd number or something that didn't make sense. However, that's a perfect split both ways. So I'll take it as is. On your end, okay, 10 of Cups. In Death, the card is Scorpio. Ooh, okay, yeah, there's a lot of buried emotions here that you are not expressing directly, okay? And on your front facing, 9 of Wands, the efforts that we put in, what we seek to gain out of it, and the 4 of Swords. Oh, you think this is easy. Got it. On their end, King of Cups. Okay, the emotion, the heart is still there. The Empress, they still see you. Oh, okay. I know where this is going. And on the back end, the Queen of Wands, still wanting to see if this is the right thing for both of you. And the Hermit, card of Virgo, trusting their wisdom that maybe this might be a time to get serious. Also, good to pull it during the season. At time of recording, this is being recorded in Virgo season. Ooh. Yeah, that was a perfect split down the middle for a reason. Let's start over here because I think it'll kind of detail why you disagree with their standpoint, even if it's a good one over here, right? On your end, Aquarius, while you may not say it out loud, you're thinking this might be the end of whatever your relationship is with this person. Right, and I'm guessing this is a long-time intimate partner or just a strongly held bond because of the way they look at you, identifying you as the Empress, right? That is a very loving, energetic, and matching pair, like almost a phrase like "you complete me" and things like that, but more so that I recognize the value of what you have and mean in my life. However, on your end, you have the 10 of Cups and the on top of the 10 of Cups, Death, the card of Scorpio. In being that you're leaving all of that to the wayside, first, why would you ruin everything that we have? And next, maybe I do have to deal with the reality that this is changing for the worse at a rapid pace. Because in the front facing, I play it cool, I put in the best efforts, and you still ain't getting it. There's a level of just absolute disdain that's starting to harbor within you that you don't like, but you keep on giving second, third, fourth, maybe even fifth chances, and you're starting to question should you have even given a first. On their end, the emotions are in the right place, right? You have the King of Cups and the Empress, knowing what I have to give and wanting to do that, what's left me unsaid and the unknown, wanting to embrace that fully and embrace the Hermit, trusting that wisdom, trusting that guidance, and do the change. The thing that I'm concerned with in the context of this read is that you're facing them with disappointment. They're facing you with basically promises unacted upon. And when we have that kind of dynamic, it's like are we still in love with this person, or are we in love with the potential of what we could have become, right? Because right now I'm seeing the more that they don't change and just exhibit these old patterns that they kind of promised you they would work on, the more upset you're becoming. And it's like boiling and simmering under the surface. It hasn't got to the level of explosion yet, but trust me, it is getting there, right? And your question is, I thought you said you wanted to do this and work on this and be with me, et cetera, et cetera. That requires that effort. That requires that work. I am not going off on you, but just because I'm not going off on you doesn't mean that these emotions aren't stirring within me, right? And on their end, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to change. Just give me one more shot. Second, third, fourth, just give me another chance. The purpose of getting another chance is for change behavior and change outlook. However, has this person really changed if they haven't changed anything at all? Right? And that's, I think, the question that's going through with you right now. So, okay, well, that's where it is. And individual positions, show the cards we need to see, please. Where does each party stand for Aquarius in their one-to-one read today? The cards we need to see, please, for the Aquarian Collective. Two of Wands. Okay. So, I mean, it doesn't give you closure, but at least from the ideological level, you're saying, you know what, I got to make a plan because I've seen this enough. We've run the hypothesis enough. We've done enough testing. Here's where we are. Now, what am I left to do with it? On their end, Two of Cups. The feelings are still there for you. And I'm not saying their feelings are not valid, but I am saying is that their feelings are not necessarily matching their output or their effort. And I think that you're very much at least feeling that, if not observing that, right? The feelings are great. Over here, 100% the feelings are on point. However, in terms of the effort, the things I asked for you to change and promised me you would, and a month later, you're doing the same thing again and then saying, oh, but can we just, no, I asked you completely to change and do this. You're not doing the basic things for me, but you're saying I'm overreacting or that this is too much and at least the feeling should be enough. I think the opposite of love is not hate, it's numbness, right? And you're getting to that stage with them right now, Aquarius, and it doesn't feel cute. It does not feel fun. Underneath it all, Ten of Pentacles. Again, the building of life together. I'm looking at two people who had been together for a while, right? That is the first. This is not a new couples kind of thing. In the context of this one-to-one read, this is not a new relationship. This is, we have been together for a while. You said you wanted this. I held up my end of that bargain. You were not doing that. But every time I try to hold you accountable, you try to play cutesy and then talk about your feelings and basically everything that diverts from the point I'm trying to make with you. And so I've seen this enough. The intention then on my end, that Two of Wands, to address all my underlying feelings, you're only driving me more and more to say that I need to call this quits. And I don't like that. I know you don't like that. But the bigger thing for you is to push that into action. I need to see more. I need to see different actions. I need to see different things that go beyond different guarantees, because right now you're just not listening to me. At the heart of the matter, the core of the matter. And every time I try to bring this up with you in a fair and equitable way, you just talk about your feelings and basically what we thought this could have been. Yeah, and that requires work too. It requires maintenance. And now you're getting more to a colder position where you don't want to be, but that's just where you are right now, Aquarius. I think you need to be honest with yourself about that. Okay, good. Hey, we talk about everything at the table, like I said in the beginning. Now that we had two parties on the board, both looking at each other, one towards the other, one-to-one, let's see what's going on down the middle. Show us cards we need to see, please. That would just help between Aquarius and their person, this one-to-one read. Because, yeah, I'm not saying that your feelings aren't there either, but it's like we can feel whatever we want to for each other, but when you can't do the basics for me, then we've been through this before. Show us the cards that we need to see, please. What is help between Aquarius and their person in this read? Down the middle. The moon. Okay. Yeah. The reason that I'm kind of concerned about this, I'm going to come back to this in a minute, to say that what we share between us, such a long-standing relationship, we're positioning it in the unknown. Both of you are actually kind of reaching that conclusion right now. You way more than them, but the fact that this is even a blip on their radar is something that also they're not used to, right? What else is held? Ace of Cups. The renewal of feelings. Either we get it right or it's going to be geared somewhere else. Two of Wands. What is the intentionality here? Are we trying to silence each other, or are we actually hearing each other out? Nine of Swords. Yeah, Nine of Swords. Nightmares and dreamscapes. Nightmares are also dreams too. Here, expressing the anxiety of the thing unsaid out loud. You've been patient enough. They've not listened enough. They express their feelings enough. You haven't expressed your anger, at least in the ways I'm seeing it boil underneath the surface, Aquarius. What do we do with that? Ten of Pentacles. Still, and what's interesting about that is that came out in your underneath, but the Ten of Pentacles with this level of conflict in an intimate partner relationship, it's like, but we've been together so long, can't we just overlook this? No, we've been together because we used to work on things. Now where are we? Okay, underneath it all, Six of Pentacles. What we build requires everyday maintenance and effort. Not just the memories or the dreams of what we could have been, but also the reality of where we are here and now. Okay? Resolution. As we move towards resolution, first find the major arcana from across the table in this read. We'll start with Judgment over here on their side. What is above all else, what is basically the message is kind of bonk them over the head? Aquarius, this person. Show us the cards we need to see, please. Find the major arcana as we push forward, and Aquarius is 1-to-1 read. To Judgment. Page of Swords, yeah. And the bigger and most grandiose thing, you need to actually listen and absorb what I'm saying, right? Sometimes I am right, very much so. Sometimes I like to say I know what I'm doing, right, as your tarot card reader. And for you, Aquarius, their bigger lesson is you're taking it for granted. You're taking everything that I've said, everything I've tried to lay out for you, you're taking it for granted. And you're thinking that this cutesy act of, oh, can't we just bypass it, is going to fly, and it's actually making me resentful. You're not okay with it at all. To Death in your corner, the Empress. And there we go. Here's why I have that kind of reaction, right? The Empress identifying, a matching pair where we want to give both love and life to, that if there is love, we can build an empire, right? Very solo, very self-sustaining, but when she has the energy to work with, she can produce so much in abundance, right? It's also interesting that their direct speaking to you is an Empress, but your Empress is being put behind death, right? So when they tell you, oh, everything is good, everything is fine, you're my person, etc., it's like that's almost triggering a reaction to you of saying, so why aren't you doing anything that I asked you to, right? It's making you grow more and more resentful. And if I am your person, quote unquote, then don't I deserve better than what's going on right now? Okay, understood. To the Empress over here, Queen of Cups. If we want to show the best that we have to somebody, then we also need to be inclusive of how they feel about it. How can we be open-minded and try to love each other on each other's terms, right? I see a lot of feelings over here, but in terms of raw action, I don't really see much, Aquarius, and that's the thing that you're asking. You're not asking about their feelings, because to you, that math doesn't math, and I see why. Because the more they talk about feelings, the more you feel like you're emotionally stepping out. Okay? To the Hermit. 5 of Wands. Because this is how it worked out before. This is how we addressed things before. That if I just said this before, then that is their approach to conflict, is to say there is no conflict at all. And that is the way that they're trying to approach it, rather than actually putting things into action, which only recycles the very thing of where we started. You need to hear me out. You need to actually listen to what's being said. Okay, to the Moon. Hermit. Do we believe that it can be healed? Or, if nothing else, do we believe that this is actually a problem here and now, because this is Virgo season? That's up for you to decide, Aquarius, but from what I see across the board, I'm going to give you the simplest answer that I see, which is you don't believe it. You've seen enough evidence, we tested the hypothesis enough to know where we stand. Okay? Yeah, in resolution, 8 of Cups. Yeah, I had a feeling. You're strongly considering leaving this person and walking away. Because no matter how much time and how much effort was put in, it doesn't change where we are right now. We tested the hypothesis enough. 9 of Pentacles. What is the active investment? The things that we build over time and actively do. That's where everything is located. not just our feelings. Underneath it all, Five of Swords. And here, the Five of Swords representing self-sabotage or that conversation within. That no, this is crumbling right in front of my face because we're not doing the basic remedial things to make us work. We tested the hypothesis enough, and this is what we came to. This is what I got in your read today, Aquarius. As a quick recap, you are becoming more and more disdainful towards a relationship that was once incredibly healthy and completely functional. And anytime you try to bring up a conflict or address an issue ongoing with whoever this person is. One second. Tarot card readers are people too. Once you try to address this conflict with your person, basically you get the runaround of everything but actually addressing everything that I talked with you about, right? Their method of dealing with the conflict is pretending it doesn't exist, which actually starts to infuriate you. So you put in more effort to have that conversation. It doesn't go anywhere, so it starts to go in a spiral and a pattern. What's going on down the middle, we're saying, can we fix this? But it's coming from the wrong angle, right? It's coming from a space of fear and desperation, focusing on, well, we've been together so long, can we overlook this? Whereas that should be the justification enough to say, maybe we should work on changing for the better for each other and for this, right? And in your conclusion, you're saying almost the inverse of what they're saying, right? Whereas they're identifying you as their loving partner, et cetera, et cetera. You're asking why. If they're saying, we held so much between us, then why aren't you doing the basic things that I asked? Why aren't you doing that work? It's only pushing you more and more to the state of wanting to walk away, Aquarius. And that's just where you stand right now. So that's all I got in your read today, Aquarius. I hope this conversation helped. And yeah, this is just how you feel, right? This is why I always put as the beginning of the reads, this is not always lovely, right? Because this is a long-standing relationship. Very obvious. This is a long-standing relationship between you and another that you're saying this may not last no matter how much time we spend together. We tested the hypothesis enough. That's all I got in your read. Hope this conversation helps. And yeah, that's where we stand. It ain't always pretty, but this is where we gotta move from. See you around, okay? Take care.